Hi everybody, the topic I'm going to be modeling for you today is found in chapter 38 and it's called Read, Pair, Share. Hi class, today we're going to be learning some new question words. The question words we're going to be learning about today are who, what, when, where, and how. We can use these questions to help us guide our learning when we go back and reading and check to make sure we gather all of the important information out of an article and the most important information that we can. Delving a little bit deeper into the words, I'll show you guys here. So the who is going to be, who are we talking about in the story? Who is in the paragraph or whatever portion of text that we're using. Next is the what. The what is the character doing, followed by the when. The when is going to be when the action that the character is doing takes place. The where is where it takes place, and the how is how the action is performed in the story. So we can use these words to help guide us, to help go back and retell portions of text or stories. That way we, like I said, we gather the most important information. In fact, newspaper reporters often do this in their writings. They'll research a topic based on these questions, and while they're writing, they'll use these questions to kind of guide their writing and guide their story. So this is something that definitely can be helpful to you later in life. So, using these question words, we're going to do a little activity called Read, Pair, Share using the book A Long Walk to Water, which is based on a true story. It's by Linda Sue Park. So, what I want to do first is I want to model the activity for you and show you exactly how it's supposed to be done. So can I have a volunteer in the class that can help me do the Read, Pair, Share?
I volunteer.
Alright, so we've got our student, Mari, who's going to volunteer for us to help today. So, the first thing I want you to do is I'm going to give you this book, A Long Walk to Water, and I'm going to take a book copy for myself. And all I want you to do is just read the first paragraph of the book. So take 30 seconds, or if you need more, that's totally fine. We're gonna read on our own. And when you're finished, just kind of look up at me, that way I know you're finished. Okay. So now we're back and we've been able to do our reading. So we're gonna use these question words and we're gonna go ahead and figure out, kind of delve a little deeper into the story. So Mari, can you tell me who the story was about?
It seems like it's about a young girl named Naya.
Good. So the paragraph we read is a young girl named Naya. Next, what is she doing? What's the action that's taking place in the paragraph that we read?
She's walking somewhere carrying a plastic container.
Okay, so we know she's walking, so we'll write that down. And we also know she has a plastic container. So we'll write that down as well. Do we know when these actions are taking place? When she's walking?
In 2008.
In 2008, and this one's an easy one because the book actually says it before we start reading. It actually gives us the time setting. So we know it took place in 2008, and it was based on a true story. How about the where? Where did the actions take place?
Southern Sudan.
Southern Sudan, and that is also in the book. So it's a great clue. It's easy to find as to where the actions are taking place. Now this one can be a little tricky. It's how. So how did the actions take place? How did the events unfold?
By taking one step at a time.
Yeah, so this one's kind of difficult. Walking, I mean, we know the action is walking. It's hard to really explain walking, but by taking one step at a time is probably the best way we can describe it. A great thing we can do here is modify questions if we need to help better fit the story. So in the case of how is Naya walking? Maybe a better question would be, how does Naya feel about walking? And in that paragraph, it gives us some good clues. As you can say, well, she just has the plastic container, but the text gives us a good clue that she's dragging the plastic container at her feet. So maybe she feels tired, maybe she's walking a really long distance. That's just one example of how we can kind of modify the questions to help us understand what's going on in the story better. At this point, this is also a great time for me and Mari to share ideas and go back into the story, kind of double check our answers to the questions. I can tell her, exactly where I found a piece of information or where I found an answer to one of the questions, and she can tell me where she found the answer to one of the questions as well. So it's kind of a good back and forth dialogue, and we can learn from each other that way, and we can learn to better be able to understand the story that way. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually do the activity. So we modeled it for you, and now we're going to go ahead and do the activity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to partner all of you up. You'll each have one partner, and you're going to read the second paragraph of A Long Walk to Water. And when you're done reading that second paragraph, read it silently, and then kind of just nod to each other to let each other know that you guys are done reading. And then I want you to answer these questions. If you'd like to modify them, you can go ahead and modify them to kind of help you understand better, see where they fit better. If not, you can go right ahead with the questions that we went over and just kind of have a discussion, go back into the text, find out where you found certain answers to questions, and after that we're going to have a quick discussion about it. Alright class, so now we're back with the discussion. So the second paragraph, let's go ahead and go through the questions again. So who was the paragraph about in this case?
Naya.
Naya, okay, great. So Naya is the character that it's about again. Now what is she doing this time?
She's sitting on the ground getting a thorn out of her foot.
Okay, so this time, well, she stopped walking, so we know that. So she's sitting on the ground and getting a thorn out of her foot. Okay, when is this taking place?
Still in 2008.
2008, and we can also say the same day. So we're still in the same day. And all these events are unfolding in 2008 on the same day. Where? Did we magically fly to another country, or are we still in southern Sudan?
Yes.
Alright, so we're in southern Sudan. So how are these actions taking place? So we know she was walking, but now she's sitting and getting a thorn out of her foot. So we can take a look back and say, how did she get the thorn out of her foot? Well, the answer is in the text, and it shows that she took another thorn to kind of help prod it out. So she used one thorn to get another thorn out. That way it would relieve the pain and she can continue walking. So we'll say she prodded the thorn out with another thorn. So now we have all of our information. You all got to discuss with your partner, and we're able to see where you found certain questions in the text. And now you guys are almost basically professional story retellers. So you guys have increased your reading comprehension and knowledge by asking these questions of the paragraphs you read. Would anyone like to tell me any more benefits of doing this activity, the read, pair, share? Alright, Miss Mari, what you got?
It helped us think about what was happening in the paragraph and helped us retell the paragraph when you answer the question.
Exactly. So it helps us learn exactly what we're reading about, and also it allows us to be able to have enough information to retell the story if necessary. So there you guys have it. That is read, pair, share.